Coming up next, a UFC flyweight division matchup. All right, here he is, ladies and gentlemen. This is as accomplished a submission specialist as we've seen cross into the UFC in years. And other than the Damian Maia types, most guys just aren't used to facing opponents at this level. You got to think he'll be trying to get this fight to the canvas early so he can work to set up a submission.
This guy is one of the toughest guys I have ever seen inside the octagon. His ability to absorb punishment and then come back from it is just absolutely incredible to watch.
As conditioned and well-rounded as any non-champion on the roster, maybe a guy here in Joseph Benavidez, who is the best fighter to never realize a UFC title, the UFC flyweight contender Joseph Benavidez, still trying to track down UFC Golden Glory as he graces the octagon once again tonight.
Benavidez is extremely athletic, great wrestling base, and very explosive. He's been working with world-class training partners at Team Alpha Male with Uriah Faber, and he's come out of there as a very complete mixed martial artist.
Our tail of the tape for this flyweight fight. Well, how about the age discrepancy here? More than 15 years apart. Some differences in height and reach. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a jiu-jitsu fighter, making his professional debut here tonight. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Moscow, Russia, X-Man. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 25 wins, 5 losses. He stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds. Joseph Joe B. Kenobi Benavidez. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean draws the assignment here.
You ready to fight? Ready.
All right, so this UFC Grand Prix tournament is coming up next. This format has been all the rage with a lot of the hardcore mixed martial arts fans out there. Sort of an homage to the history of UFC and Pride with a single night tournament game event here. And let's see who can be the last man standing here tonight.
Oh, beautiful takedown.
All right, so he just decides to get up here, Joe. Oh, straight punch. It's there again.
He tagged him with that right hand. And again, he's getting that right hand in. Whoa! This could be it right here. Nice leg kick. And he lands it to the leg.
Oh, he got cracked with the jab there, Joe, and his head is firmly on the center line, the one place it really can't afford to be. He's showing some vulnerability here by leaning right into his opponent's range. Let's see if he can make some adjustments here. Splits the guard and connects with the punch. Oh, and he's back up again.
Nice.
Trying to establish that jab once again. Nice punch by Benavidez.
Sweep here, he's got half guard.
Again, they clinch. Well, he's able to get back up here, but oh man, is he on wobbly legs. 2 minutes have expired in our opening round.
They separate from the clinch. to pass here, but gets shut down. He's attacking with a submission. Here he goes. Let's see if he can finish it. From here, he wants to push down on his opponent's wrist and trap it under his ankle. He's got it.
And that will do it.
He set up the submission and locked it in for the tap. Excellent job.
Yeah, Joe, that's about as good as it gets in terms of executing the submission. He stayed patient, waited for an opening, and was able to get the tap shortly thereafter. Excellent work to set up and ultimately finish the submission here tonight.
And here we see it from another angle. Beautiful technique here, and the tap. And finally, one more time, no choice but to tap.
So there he is, your winner by submission tonight, and that is how you put the rest of the division on notice. A huge result for him here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 40 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by tap out.
Well, the celebration is on in the corner after the big submission win here tonight. He told us during fight week that he needed to prioritize a finish here. Decisions were not going to be enough to take his career where he wants to take it, and expeditiously. So, gets the submission tonight. Now the celebration is on. There got to be few things in all of pro sports as satisfying than to be able to celebrate a UFC win with your coaches and training partners. And thankfully for this young man, now that is all that is left to do. All right, coming up next, it's a UFC flyweight division matchup. Dude, how about the hand speed on this guy? Certainly good fighters feel like they can beat speed with timing and precision, but it's hard to get a beat on this guy, and with the punches and bunches and the combinations which keep on coming, a lot of guys are going to succumb to that accumulation of punches. He's got the power to go with the speed. This guy, a five-tool player on the feet, but the hand speed certainly is what jumps off the film.
This guy has thunderous kicking power, amongst the scariest kickers in the world of mixed martial arts, and his opponent has to be keenly aware of that danger.
So here's the Hawaiian Louis Smolka. You remember the UFC debut well against Altekin Ozkalic. Maintained the undefeated record that night on short notice. That was in Georgia back in 2014, and has had a lot of big wins since. You may remember the main event against Patty Houlihan, submission win by rear naked choke there. This man has a flair for the dramatic, a dynamic striker, and can grapple with the best of them as well. Not a lot of glaring weaknesses when it comes to the all-around mixed martial arts game of the Hawaiian Louis Smolka.
This guy has devastating power to his kicking technique. Whether it's to the legs, the body, or the head, if one of those lands, you've got real problems.
And now our tail of the tape for this flyweight tilt. More than 5 years apart, with similar height and reach. All right, now to get us started, we go inside the octagon where we find Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a jiu-jitsu fighter, making his professional debut here tonight. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Moscow, Russia, Express. And now, fighting out of the red corner. A mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 11 wins, 5 losses. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds. Fighting at a Kapolei, Hawaii, Louis the Last Samurai Smolka. the action begins, our referee in charge, Yves Lavigne.
The veteran Yves Lavigne draws the assignment here.
You ready?
Well, how good is this? Reminds me of the good old days of Pride, the UFC Grand Prix single light tournament.
Gotta watch out for the heel hook here. Throws his leg over the top of his opponent's leg, securing the leg in position. Get that heel. Stunning. Stunning, and he really made it look easy. Great job, didn't waste any time, took this fight to the ground and got the early submission.
Yeah, so how about that, Joe? We can barely tell people what color the trunks are on these fighters, and we get the submission win. So not a lot of wasted time. He got the takedown early, and the submission came soon thereafter. Great effort, great technique here tonight.
Let's see it from another angle. Beautiful technique here on display with this heel hook. And here we see it again. Beautiful submission victory.
So there he is, your winner by submission. That is a finish they will likely be talking about for some time. Big win, major statement made to the rest of this division.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Lavigne has called a stop to this contest at 17 seconds in the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out due to a heel hook.
Well, at this point, all that is left is the celebration, and it's nice to see this fighter sharing a moment with his coaches and training partners after the big submission win here tonight. He had no shortage of naysayers coming in. A lot of people said he couldn't come in here and submit a foe of this quality. Well, that should mute the masses a little bit. That should set him up for a big fight moving forward. Tonight, though, as I mentioned, all about the celebration, and it is on in the corner. Coming up next, a UFC flyweight division matchup. Well, nice to see this young fighter healthy and making the walk here tonight. His takedowns are just incredible. High amplitude takedowns, great technique, explosion really with every shot, and seemingly no telegraph as well. So even a fighter with good takedown defense, more often than not, is not going to see this guy's shot coming.
This guy is an elite submission fighter. He has a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game, and if he gets this fight to the ground, he will have a distinct advantage.
The younger brother of former UFC lightweight champion Anthony Showtime Pettis. Here is the flyweight contender, Sergio Pettis, outstanding kickboxer under the tutelage of the outstanding striking coach Duke Rufus. Still a young man, Sergio Pettis has improved leaps and bounds since he made his first walk in the UFC tonight. Finds himself in yet another big fight, Joe.
This guy has extremely unusual kicking speed. His technique is outstanding, and there is no wind-up to his movement.
Our tail of the tape for this flyweight fight. Pettis is 6 years his senior. The rest of the numbers are close. The veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buff.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a jiu-jitsu fighter, making his professional debut here tonight. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Moscow, Russia, Express. And now, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a Taekwondo fighter, holding a professional record of 17 wins, 4 losses. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Sergio Pettis. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Yves Lavigne.
The veteran Yves Lavigne draws the assignment here.
You ready?
Well, no better way to pay homage to the history of pride in the UFC with this single night UFC.
Oh! He hurt him!
Nice job moving off the center line. He slips to avoid that right hand. And he caught the kick.
Oh, good left hand. Look at that eye, man. That is a mess.
Edge of your seat action as expected so far. As expected, an early shot, and it's good. Useful early takedown. No denying he wants this fight on the ground.
Looking for the choke. That choke is deep. This could be it right here. That's it.
And there it is.
Great job in getting this fight to the ground quickly and getting an early submission.
Yeah, Joe, we could barely get the fight clock sponsor out, and the submission comes here in round one. He said he didn't want to waste a lot of time. He knew his opponent would know what was coming. It was going to be takedown attempts in bunches, but he couldn't stop the early shot, and he certainly couldn't stop the submission. So great effort and even better technique here tonight.
And here it is again. Beautiful arm triangle submission. Absolutely perfectly executed. And let's watch it here one more time. Deep submission and the tap.
So there he is, your winner by submission, and that's exactly how you put the rest of this division on notice. Looks like this guy could be a factor moving forward in this division.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Lavigne has called a stop to this contest at 48 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out due to an arm triangle choke.
So there he is, your winner by way of submission, and candidly, Joe, I'm not sure this night could have gone any better. He did have some doubters coming in. He said, I got to mute those naysayers, and they're not going to keep quiet unless I can actually get this guy out of there. So mission accomplished. No judges necessary tonight. He gets the submission, and now all that's left is to celebrate with his coaches and training partners. What a moment for this oncoming fighter here tonight. All right, coming up next, a matchup for the UFC flyweight division title. Well, it's got to feel good for this man to make this walk. He has chewed up and spit out all comers on his run to contention. Now he is the undisputed #1 contender, looking to become the new UFC flyweight champion. A lot of people think he has the skills to do just that. Tonight, though, his opportunity to prove it in front of a sold-out crowd tonight, that he is the best 125-pound fighter on the planet.
As he steps towards this cage, he understands this is one of the biggest moments in his life, the biggest moment in his career. He is looking to take this title, and he believes his time is now. His preparation has gone perfectly. He is in outstanding shape. He has a great game plan and a great camp, and he believes that he will emerge the new champion of the world tonight after this fight.
Well, this man remains the hunted at 125 pounds, one of the most dominant flyweights in UFC history, the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC flyweight champion, making another title defense tonight. And candidly, Joe, he's made it look easy at times on this title run. Tonight, though, most people believe he is staring at his toughest championship defense to date. We'll see if we get and still or and new after this flyweight championship tonight.
The champion headed to the cage right now is in the groove. He is in his prime right now. His training for this bout has been perfect. He believes he has a solid game plan, and he's ready to step in here and retain his title. He is well prepared for this contest.
All right, let's get you the tail of the tape for this flyweight championship fight. So more than 10 years apart, these two fighters. Some differences in height and reach as well. And now for the particulars, we go inside the octagon where we find Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event the evening. When the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon, Yves Lavigne. And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. It's time! 5 rounds for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Greco-Roman wrestler, holding a professional record of 13 wins, 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, presenting the challenger, Henry the Messenger Cejudo. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a jiu-jitsu fighter, making his professional debut here tonight. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Moscow, Russia, presenting the reigning, defending, undisputed UFC Flyweight Champion of the World, Express.
UFC belt on the line, guys. Protect yourself at all time. Obey my command at all time. If you want to touch love, do it now. Go back to your corner.
This has been one of the most highly anticipated matchups for a long time. And ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in because it's about to go down right now.
All right, here we go. The UFC Flyweight Championship of the World is on the line right now. Lands a kick, Joe.
High kick.
Going to the body there with the right kick.
Clean Superman punch.
Cejudo gets caught with that punch. Don't be afraid to get that head off the center line.
Good shots by the champion. He's moving to his right, trying to avoid that big right hand. Wow, that was a quick takedown. He establishes back control. He's trying to go after an arm here. He's going to extend his hips. He's got him flattened down on his back. He wants to free that arm. Leans back. He's going to extend his body. That's it.
And that will do it.
Great job in establishing that submission.
Yeah, so a quick night at the office for him here tonight. He told us he wanted to be efficient. He didn't want to waste a lot of time. He felt his opponent knew the takedown attempts would be coming, and he got the fight to the ground relatively easily, and his submission skills then took over. Big, big result for him early in round 1 tonight.
And here it is again, absolutely perfectly executed. And one more time, nice technique here on this submission.
So there he is, the UFC Flyweight Champion of the World, and what a way to get it done and leave with the gold tonight as he earns the victory by submission.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Lavigne called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 2 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by tap out. And still the undisputed UFC Flyweight Champion of the World.
So how about that effort out of the undisputed UFC Flyweight Champion? He defends the belt successfully by way of submission here tonight. And what a moment there in the corner as they celebrate this latest victory. It is going to take a monumental effort to dethrone this champion at 125 pounds.